all, I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate, and we're Real Estate Elevated. We're bringing you another episode of I'm Moving to North Carolina, Now What? Today we're going to be talking about the best questions to ask your agent when you're vetting them to either help you buy or sell a home. So we're going to tackle all the different types of agents because maybe they have a lot of business, maybe they don't, maybe they're old, maybe they're new, maybe they work in certain locations. So we're going to break this down by different types of agents, and I'm going to give you some really good questions to ask each of them to figure out who is the best person for you to work with. So the first one are older agents. So ask them how many transactions they do in a year. So a lot of folks will claim, I've been in the business for 30 years. But does that mean they've only done one deal each year for the 30 years? Break down that statistic and find out what does that mean? How much business each year, especially in recent years, because that's going to be the type of market that you're working in. Do they understand the ebbs and the flows of the market? They may bring some expertise to the table, having been through different types of markets, to be able to advise you on is now really a good time. The second group of agents are your newer agents. These guys often get a bad rap just because they haven't yet gained that experience. But something to consider is that they may have left a career field that is actually very applicable to the world of real estate. Teachers, for example, are some of the most tenacious people I've ever met in my entire life. They definitely are real creative in getting the job done, given the nature of what they do. And oftentimes, they're some of the best agents, if I do say so myself, for you to work with. Ask them about that previous career and see if there's some skill sets that maybe transfer from one to the other. The third group are agents who claim to do a ton of volume. Yes, that's important. That means they've got lots of experience, lots of deals done. They're probably working on both sides of the table, meaning they're working with listings, they're working with buyers. But something to be a little wary of is if they are on a team, who are you working with? Are you working with that lead agent who is the one that roped you into working with them? Or are you going to get passed off to someone else who may not have the same type of rapport or the same level of experience you thought the previous agent was bringing to the table? Good, bad, or indifferent, it's good to ask those questions so you know who you're working with. The fourth one, if they are heavy on the listing side, buyer psychology is really important. If they're only working on one side of the table, are they helping you market that home to the other side, the potential enemy who you need to rope in and help buy the home? If they only work on one side of the table, do they know what types of concessions buyers are asking for? What's normal? Do they know how to work well with buyers agents? So then let's flip the tables and talk about people who only work with buyer agents. They often may not be able to put themselves in the shoes of the seller. We are in a seller's market. It's really important to understand the opposition and the folks that you're working to get this deal done with. And so it's really good to ask about what tactics they use or what information do they provide to actually work with the other side. And then the last one, discount agents. Anytime you work with an agent who's immediately offering to discount themselves, one big question to ask is if they're not willing to fight for themselves, how are they going to fight for you? I would also ask if they're willing to discount. What services are you now no longer getting because of that discount? So while sometimes some savings may sound really great, what are you giving up and not netting in the end because of that discount? So obviously we've talked about a couple different groups of agents, all of which bring just as much to the table, but just make sure you're able to compare apples to apples and know the right questions when you're interviewing for somebody to either buy or sell a home with you. I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate. We are Real Estate Elevated, so if you want to follow, like, and share this content, make sure that you're keeping up with all of the latest videos that we drop both here on YouTube as well as Spotify. We'll see you next time.